pump, what? Price go up, guess that's just your luck. Sold at the bottom of life, you gotta learn how to hold on to whatever money you're gonna earn and not get shaken out when they run the stops. Although it tends to pretend to the dips and the bends, you know the trend is your friend all the way to the end. So I buy that fucking tip.
G'day everybody, happy Friday and welcome to the happy hour, and g'day to these fine gents, 43 OG, Blue Bum and True Blue. How are you guys going?
Good, man.
Oh,
All
yeah.
good in the hood?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, pretty
Yeah,
good.
no,
All
yeah.
right. Yeah, nah, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, me. Yeah, nah.
I like
yeah.
that. I love that. There's always like the yeah, nah, yeah. That's the Aussie way, isn't it?
Put it this
That-
way.
that's
I've
an Aussie thing.
got
That
the
is very much an
Superman.
Aussie thing.
I got the Superman
Nice.
shirt on just because I feel like Superman holding my bags and not dropping them. So
Mate, you were like that guy on that ostrich, just
Yeah.
hanging on for dear life. Just
Trend
don't
is
get
different.
shaken out, man. Don't get shaken out.
that's it.
That's the way. Oh no, Bluey just got shaken out.
He's coming back, though. He's coming
He's
back.
coming back. He'll be back. Yeah, happy Friday, guys. I've got a beverage here, so I might crack that one. It is Friday afternoon, so why not? And yeah, no, here we go. Bluey's back here,
Back.
and yeah, cheers to Friday. Cheers to the weekend, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's been pretty hectic.
I've not had a Coca-Cola in a long, long time.
Oh, the hard stuff. Yeah, no. That's a lot of sugar in that one.
I reckon that's
No
a zero
sugar.
one.
Oh,
No
okay.
sugar.
There you go. There you go. Sensible. Yeah, so there's been quite a bit happening. Standard sort of stuff for hexagons, you know, we're just getting triggered by IH saying that we're nearly at all-time high. But you know, I sort of thought that was going to be the case, like the way that he likes to frame things. But it's funny when it actually happens, and then yeah, a lot of people getting a little bit salty. But yeah, not me. I'm just kind of like, you know, it's pre-halving. I think in previous halvings we've seen a bit of a retracement, and this is all sort of par for the course. What do you guys reckon?
I'm not sure of the effectiveness of the gaslighting.
Yeah.
I know he likes to frame things in certain ways, but the problem is when people think they're being gaslit. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, he's got his tactics, doesn't he? He's got his marketing tactics.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to be careful because like some of the things that he says are 100% accurate. It's just that we read into it. So
Can we look at the tweet? Is
Sure,
it
yeah,
possible to look at the quick tweet so we actually
Yeah, we have
look
some
at from
I mean, there's been
some
a couple of
texting.
there's been a couple of bullish ones, I thought, actually, that he came out, but there was one that was relatively triggering, I think, because, you know, like he was saying, you know, Ethereum is relatively, you know, going up, and you know, if over long time frames, I thought this was quite a bullish one. When you sort of zoom out a bit, and you know, if you look at the charts, also he's doing this where he's giving it sort of room to move and sort of saying, you know, there's been a bit of a retracement, but the trend is still up and to the right. I'm not sure that narrative sort of holds when, like, you know, Hex is like 99% down, or EHEX, I should say. But you know, he has got a point when if you look at Hex on PulseChain as just being a separate asset, you know, its chart is relatively new, and it did technically, you know, get close to all-time high. But yeah, was that the one that was triggering people, or was it a different one? Oh no, it was here.
Yeah.
This was the one. Hex was nearly a new all-time high 35 days ago. Did a 5.3x in 198 days. Hex on PulseChain. So factually correct, but it is certainly the omission is not
triggering
considering
some people. Yeah, triggering for people, because
Yeah,
there are
for some.
people obviously who bought the eHex top, and from their perspective, you know, to have the founder, like, and like you said, it's factually correct what he's saying there, you know, and but the people who bought the 40-50 cent top of the Ethereum Hex have no sense of humor about this shit right now, you know.
Yeah. I've always got a sense of humor about this stuff, so I kind of think you know, it's that whole thing where P-Hex was airdropped to us for free, right? So we're up infinity from zero, like we're up infinity X.
So
So,
it also means
I have
by
a
that,
perspective.
but that also means we're down 100% on our or whatever.
Yeah,
on
it's
So can I like just put forth where I think we are right now?
please.
And can I share my screen if that's okay?
Yeah, man.
I've got, let me see here. What can I do? Where are we? Present.
Yeah, I mean, so he's already kind of said that you know, we're moving forward, he's probably only going to be flexing on you know, the Hex on PulseChain chart, and that's okay. For me, that's like, it's pretty hard to defend that eHex chart. Like, let's be fair, it's embarrassing. So if he wants to frame it that way, and then if other people still see value in eHex, and I mean, you can get like 1 million eHex for like, it's like $1,700 or something. It's pretty cheap. So that's
okay.
That's
so this is the BTC chart. So I just want to speak to where I think we are from a psychological perspective right now with Hex and mainly Hex, right? And I'm talking about people who've been around for a couple of years. So if we have a look back at November 2013, when BTC you know, hit $1,000, and then for a couple of years or even more, sort of just was down and sideways until, you know, almost 2 years later. Can you imagine the site? And obviously, this is not as far down as you know, Hex has gotten, but psychologically, can you imagine where these people were at this time in this nascent you know, investment technology? They must have just been thinking it's all over, it's the end.
exactly.
And that's sort of where I think some people are with, like, psychologically with Hex in general right now. And I don't want to say that, you know, for sure this is what we're doing in the next 2 years or 3 years, you know, up to, I don't want to say that, but I just think psychologically that's where we are with Hex right now. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but it's going to take the community being involved and you know, doing good stuff and putting in, you know. I do agree with the Richard Hart sentiment that crying about it all day long is not going to do very much for us.
Not going to help.
It's not going to help at all, you know. So yeah, that was just the perspective I was thinking about that this week. So
is it just me, or does it seem worse on crypto Twitter at the moment?
How you going, Jackson? Sorry for just being you up in the background there, but how you going?
Yeah, no, that's right. I thought I'd jump in. I haven't been on for a while, so I thought I might jump in and say.
Awesome. Good to see you. Yeah, I think there's been a lot of crying on Twitter, but, you know, I just mute people and just ignore that shit. So I try not to let it bother me. And like 43 says, just zoom out, look on a bigger time frame. The halving is what, tomorrow, is it? So
I think it's today, our time, isn't it? Or because it was the 20th. Everyone's saying the 20th. That must be US time.
I think it's about 20 hours away or something like that.
Is it? Yeah.
Let me just have a look here, because I've got the countdown I had from 15 hours. Yeah, it's literally today. So yeah, I mean, there's always a bit of a retracement before the BTC halving. I think in previous years or in previous cycles, there's been retracements just before. The last one might have been a bit different, but yeah.
Yeah, it was actually good to see a bit of a retracement, because we always say, the cycles never play out the same, but they tend to rhyme. And I've been watching it carefully this time to see whether we were going to get the same sort of pullbacks and things as we have previous cycles. Because you never want to get caught in the trap of, this time it's different. So if we had just kept going up and not having any little retracements at all, that would have been really concerning, because then you're in
good point.
You're in no man's land in terms of how you read a chart or anything. Like, you've got if everything's changed and it is all different, then how the hell do you predict with any sort of certainty what might play out? What was really cool to go back and look over. So there was me and another guy were just having a look at charts and doing percentages and things like that. And this cycle, we've had consistently, give or take a few percent, about a 16% pullback at each level when we've stopped.
Nice.
And normally, so originally it was like 30%. Then it went down to, I think last market was probably around 25-ish, 20%. And now we seem to be doing 16% pullbacks. So it'd be interesting to see whether that actually holds this time again and takes off. But if you have a look at the chart, it was, I hadn't noticed it until yesterday when I was messing around with the...
Yeah, they're healthy retracements, right? Yeah.
Not as deep as what I thought they would be, but when you actually put it in context, and you look at each part of this cycle, that seems to be what we're doing.
Yeah. Just a quick shout out to the chat. G'day, chat. Red Squirrel, Oi, Quinny Gin. What's up, man? Bin Bear. What a pump morning. Oh, I see. I haven't really been checking the chart, so we got a bit.
Bin Bear's excited.
There you go.
Bin Bear's excited.
Hey, Mango's in the house. He's excited.
I'm interested to know, Dozer. Have we got more viewers? Have we got more viewers, mate?
We do. It says here 27.
Yeah, because remember we had that discussion last week about Twitter and Twitter adding in some, some viewers.
Hello to the replay gang. Hello to the Twitter bots, and g'day to Gold Key. How's things, mate? I hope you're having a good time over there. I think you're right. I think that was wise. I haven't actually just checked to see if it's working, but I assume it's streaming on X. So I set it up. So we'll hope for the best. Mango said there was no big drop last halving. The drop in price happened 2 months before the COVID dip. Yeah, so that's what I was going to point out as well. That's the whole, this dip here, which was I think a 20% dip. That was actually the spicy cough. So
Hex is over $0.01.
Hex is over $0.01. What's going on, man?
28% up in the last 24 hours. I'm looking at.
What?
So that's where the happiness is coming from.
Oh, in that case, let's go. What am I talking about? All this bearish stuff, all this whole time. It was. I just wasn't even checking the charts. So hang on a tick.
The Hex pulse ratio as well. It's done a bit of a flip.
28%. Oh my god, that is huge. Yes, let's go. That's wicked. So that's up 10% for 6 hours. I could have sworn I checked this, man, but okay. I've been playing around with these fib levels because I've never really been a big fib retracement tool person, but I had a bit of a play around. Look, I watched some tutorials and stuff, and I kind of found that some of these lines sort of did match up a little bit, although it could just be regular support. But it does look like we're getting
Hex in terms of pulse. If you can flip it over to Hex pulse,
of course.
Yeah, have a look at that. Look at that green. Look at those green candles. They're very nice.
So, okay, I'm going to speculate that someone big is buying up, let's just say maybe sack wallets. I don't know. I haven't
been on Twitter, so I don't know if anyone's sort of piped up.
Yeah, maybe I muted too many people because I'm not getting the feed, the alpha. But this has been going sideways for the Hex.
Can we look at the TXNs below? Just if you scroll down.
Sure, mate.
Just in the main chart.
Yep.
Oh no, just underneath the chart.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was going to say it looks like in terms of buys and sells, but I can whip this up. Oh, you can filter
top traders.
Oh, it's probably top traders. Yeah. I probably don't want to muck around with this too much, but because I was mucking around with this. These filters are actually really handy. Hey.
Yeah.
They can be a little bit misleading as well. Like if you see price movements up and it might be on a different pool and things like that, you don't see all the trades and things like that.
I mean, this looks like someone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It looks like someone just bought like 800,000 hex. So, but anyway, I'll check that out maybe later. But what I was just going to say is that ratio that you were talking about, 43, that 100 pulse per hex, that has been really just kind of hovering
chugging
up
along.
it's really been going sideways. So, for the last, I guess you could say, so the 25 days, it's just been going sideways against Pulse. So sometimes people kind of go, oh, the price of Hex is down. Yeah, but against Pulse, it's pretty much just been going flat at that 100 Pulse per Hex. Now it's 126 Pulse per Hex. So very interesting.
If you zoom out a little bit, how are we looking on the trend line coming down there? So if you get it,
okay.
Got its head above it, hasn't it?
So
you get a close above there, that would be pretty nice.
Very much so. Are you saying like if you go from the wicks or something?
Well, even if you just go from the bodies, what's that? That's a daily you got there, is it? Or weekly?
Oh, this is weekly. I can go daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You just go from the bodies. That's a pretty substantial breakout there, just whether it's going to hold that or not, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. If you go from the bodies,
that is a close above. Just wriggle the white line a little bit. It looks like it may have just closed above.
Just move a little bit further down.
Super bullish.
Cope TA here, but no. On the daily, that does look like it is closed above that trend line. So look, next stop, 140 pulse per hex. That's what I'm thinking. But also, that's going to pull up the rest of the market as well. Like, no doubt, I'm sure if you check, like Pulse and stuff will be up as well. Because so it's up 4.5% for the 24 hours. So cool. Yeah, well, that's excellent news. How's things? Sorry, go ahead.
It'd be good to get the reading of the room here. If you the Wall Street cheat sheet.
Oh yeah.
Where do you think we sit from the Bitcoin point of view? So from the broader market point of view, where do you think we sit?
Can we have a sheet up on the screen?
Numb. I'm numb. Is there numb on there?
No, is there numb? Don't know if I've got one kicking around.
Yeah, I could probably pull it up. Yeah,
if you can bring it up.
And just in terms of Bitcoin, you're asking?
So the way I've been looking at it recently is I think there's two speeds. We've got Bitcoin and the way that market might be feeling from an overall, like a bigger picture. But then you've obviously got some alts and particularly our ecosystem. Where do we think we are in all of that as well? Because I think they're probably running at slightly different speeds.
It's
hard. Cope or hope, one or the other.
Yeah, probably hope, I'd say.
Just cross out H and put C.
That's
in
right.
I
there.
would
I put
argue-
hope.
I would argue that Hex is in a different part of
Yeah.
that
Agreed.
I think
chart. I would say that we
disbelief
are
as well.
definitely still in depression. I would say
Oh,
that.
okay.
I agree. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
the way I was
is
thinking,
a positive, I guess, a positive outlook, going forward. I have.
I'm probably a slightly different point of view to yours, 43. I reckon for the major market, hope. For our ecosystem, probably on the downside of disbelief.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. I reckon the downside of disbelief, and that sort of matches up with that wrecked capital thing as well, where you kind of got this just at the halving, the retracement before the halving, and then you get this little tiny drop. And I remember the last halving. I think I talked about this on stream before, and I guess I was a bit naive, and I just thought, oh, halving is ultra bullish. Second it goes live, the halving happens, minor reward gets halved, it's just going to send. And it actually went down. And I was like, well, no, it's like sell the news or whatever. And I think I gave it a couple of days and I sold my bags or whatever, and then just moved on. But if you think about it over monthly timeframes, that's when you get it, the actual sort of parabolic phase. This little bit here that you kind of zoomed in on, it's even hard for me to do that, is it's a bit deceptive. Like if you're looking at daily prices, you can't really see the forest from the trees, so to speak.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be a little bit shocked by how quickly it all happens as well.
Yeah.
It comes and goes very, very fast.
Isn't that crazy that it's like 4 years, like in theory, this is the supposition or presupposition or whatever. It's like, and then, but you're only really up like big for about 6 months or less. So 80% of the time is you're coping, and then there's this one part that everyone's just waiting for. So that's an interesting topic as well, because I've seen people talk about this, mainly Somi, shout out to Somi. He was sort of saying that maybe in the past, because there were so few altcoins, you kind of had like an altcoin season, because there's literally only like 10 altcoins, back in the day. Whereas now you've got so many different categories of altcoins. Maybe they sort of pop at different times. So you have altcoin seasons for different, GameFi or AI or DeFi, whatever. But then, so he was sort of saying that once you've had your Solana meme coin rally, it's over, like, and not to be repeated, or AI, for example. But do you think some of these things are cyclical? Like, do you think you might see, like, because we had GameFi pop for a few days, I don't know, a month ago. Do you think we'll see that sort of coming back for another few days, for another few weeks, and then go away? And then you might start to see some other, real world asset class, pump for a bit, and then another one. Is it just going to rotate between these? What do you guys think?
There's a lot of coins in the market now, where before you had your majors, and then there was probably only a handful of coins where they could cycle into. And okay, so when you guys got in the market, do you recall how many altcoins were listed on CoinMarketCap?
It was less than 20,000. It was like,
there were still heaps though. Like
I can remember like 12,000 or something, seeing that stat.
Yeah,
it was 20,000 when I got into it, and now
what do you think that stat runs at now?
Yeah, hundreds of thousands.
Everyone put a figure out. What do they think that stat says now?
I'm going to go in hundreds of thousands.
How many coins are there?
250,000.
No, really?
I would say 100,000. Yeah,
I'm going to guess 50,000.
Go look at. Can you bring up CoinMarketCap?
Oh no, I don't know if I want to see this.
A lot of dilution. Yeah,
this is. I'm hoping I've got the right figure here, because I've put it into a couple of prezos that I've done. So.
You know what's spun out is CoinMarketCap does actually show PulseChain if you go to the right part of it. But anyway, So where does it say it, man?
Up the top, I think it's got that metric up there, hasn't it? Up the very top.
Exchanges. Oh, 2.4 million. Oh, what?
And I guarantee they're not listing everything. Do you want to know the stupid thing? Do you know the stat I've got from literally probably, what was that? Maybe 3 months ago was 2.2 million.
There you go. But see, how many of them are Tangang coins, though?
Probably about 2 million of them.
Yeah, that's it.
So 80% Tangang. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like there's coins coming out every day. So I did wonder about this because it's kind of been my philosophy to get in on meme coins, and then when they pump, take profits and put it into my core conviction coins like Pulse and Hex. For me, maybe some Ink and PulseX, but that they're the main two that I've been trying to build my bags. And then I kind of realized that that's kind of like what the whole crypto market does. It's just that they rotate into Bitcoin. So you get the real world asset class might go up, AI might go up, you know, GameFi, and then they take those profits and they just buy Bitcoin. So we just have different, it's the same.
Yeah, that's been the game for, that was always the game. And now then ETH got a lot bigger, and that became one that people would rotate back into, and everyone's now got their favorites that they want to rotate back into. But yeah, that was the game. Use the altcoins to try and grow your Bitcoin bag,
your stack. Yeah. So then it just comes down to ROI. If you think that, you know, you are rotating into your core stack of Bitcoin, that might do a 3x, whereas, you know, I'm sort of rotating into my core of Pulse and Hex, because I think that the upside potential is far greater. But I do wonder about that cyclical thing. Where do you think that if something's pumped before, do you think it's dead for this cycle, or do you think that that's an indication? Like say Pepe, for example, Pepe pumped, and then it's sort of done nothing. And do you think that it'll come back like later in the hyper phase, or like multiple times, or do you think it will just have one crack at it and then it will just die?
I reckon it'll have one big run coming, you know, somewhere in the bull market. I don't know about coming on and off, but a meme like that surely is here to stay over a lot of the other, you know, memes that are just, you know, dwindling. But
what's SHIB done? Has SHIB done anything special this cycle?
No, it hasn't. And that's the thing, because SHIB is more of a, you know, people have got short attention spans, right? And it's almost like a meme coin from a previous cycle. Like, so Doge is, to me, is like the Bitcoin of memes. It's like the first mover meme advantage. And then, you know, SHIB had its thing, but then so many people had so many opportunities, particularly exchanges, to accumulate a metric shit ton of SHIB, that then now they're carrying that through. So people are kind of aware that if you're buying into these pumps, you're going to get dumped on. Whereas, like, you know, maybe a newer sort of meme. So that's why I'm kind of hoping that with PulseChain, you know, if as Pulse goes up, then some of the memes on Pulse might actually do quite well as well. And you don't need to spend a lot because they're cheap as chips.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how anyone even starts to try to predict which meme coin is going to do anything. Like, it's such complete guessing.
No, it's
you just got to respect the pump.
I honestly think it's by a small group of a team that moves from one to the other and takes everyone on a ride.
I think you're right. I think there's a bit of.
But how do they get? Is it advertising, or how do they get like people to jump onto their next thing? Like, I think
it's virality. I think.
Yeah, if you build up, let's say you get one community that builds up a group of followers, and then they put that in their post. Oh, this is going to be the next one. Okay, we've just launched this one. Like, that's all it is. Is you just
that's a bit unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's such diminishing returns, especially with now over 2 million of them. You know, like, it's just such a mugs game. The whole meme thing, I think.
Yeah,
it can be. Yeah. Do Did you guys see that 9mm OTC marketplace?
I've
That's
seen the
started
tweet.
up?
Oh, I think I've seen a tweet or something go out. I haven't actually looked at it though.
Yeah, so it looks pretty cool. Like it looks like you can just set up an OTC trade to expire, and you set the ratio, and then people can come along and I've just got like a test wallet on, but that's got to be good, right? For people to sort of
hang on,
do OTC trades.
So how's it working? You put in a coin. Can you go back to where you were? I didn't
man.
see it. So you put in you put in the coin pair that you want to deal with, is it?
Yeah. So if you set the pair and then the ratio, and then so I could theoretically just put in hex or whatever.
So is it effectively just creating a V3 position and someone's then buying that position?
It's not a V3 position though.
Oh,
these along the way. I don't think.
No, I'm wondering whether
OTC though. So it's not actually.
No,
is it just a limit order? Oh, okay.
I reckon someone's buying the LP position. So you set a range with your tokens,
yeah,
and then they can actually sell that LP token. Is that not how you think that would be done?
I'm not sure, because true OTC wouldn't affect the price chart, right? It's not done. It's
no,
not done
effectively
in the pools.
Effectively, you're buying the liquidity token, and then you just take your coins out with the ratio shift.
Yeah, but then you're changing the
ratio.
Why would you
buy that? Why would you buy that? Why wouldn't you just buy on market? Because you could buy it and it goes out of your range, and then you're just left with these tokens out of range.
I think the point is that it doesn't affect the market, right? So that's the whole point. Is so if you wanted to do a massive trade of 10 billion pulse or something,
price against yourself.
Exactly.
So it's almost like a transfer, like contract type thing.
Yeah. Almost like escrow. Like escrow.
Yeah. Like an escrow.
Which is what people
can do with sorry, mate. That's what people can do with hex as well. For example, if you want to sell a bag of hex, you can stake it for a day, turn it into an NFT, and sell it to someone via, just a swap. Which is why I've always thought it's important to have a zero commission NFT trading platform for private sales.
Why wouldn't you have, like, if you're doing an OTC, why would you need to select a pair though? That's what makes me think it's something to do with an LP.
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know, man. I just saw it yesterday and I was like, OTC trades, that's wicked. Because maybe BankX or whoever, instead of just dumping the chart on, they can.
Could it be liquidity provider whales selling to other liquidity provider minded whales? Like, I mean, you'd think if one person, rather than, just, here you go, you can have this. But, these would have to be deals that people do behind closed doors or in private chat rooms, I'd think.
Yeah. Which I don't think.
Sure.
Yeah, there's no great way to do that without doxing all your shit. So I think this is a better way to do it, at least.
On that page, it said to do the transfer like to anyone. What's the other option? Can you put someone's like a wallet address in there or something?
A specific taker, you can.
Yeah,
you can put in a specific address or ENS, so that you can set it up as a private trade.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully maybe someone will do a tutorial on it and explain how it works.
Or whatever, so Ash and Red Squirrel have got some comments.
Oh, there you go. I was just about to say that. There's some good stuff going on here. Let me just we had the hex chart up, man, so that's cool. He's too hyped. That's wicked. There's Anita. So I'll just quickly say hello to everyone here. So g'day, Anita. How you going? KD, what's up? Thanks for joining us. George Chops. Okay, we've got a few.
Georgie Chops, is it?
Georgie Chops. That's a good name. I like that. That's wicked. So yeah, where's Red Squirrel? Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Ash. When the buyer initializes an escrow transaction, buyer's coins are locked in a smart contract. Yes. Once the buyer confirms the seller's obligations are fulfilled. Okay. Assuming that it works the same way as escrow, there has to be a pair. You have to choose something to receive in return. Okay.
And there's no commission on that? Is that how that works?
Don't know, bro. Don't know.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't
yeah.
a fee on that. I'd be.
Good point.
Usually stuff like that would have a little bit of a fee, you would think.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to check
a service. So.
Oh man, let's try and do stuff. Look, maybe we'll find out more about it. But yeah, how's this? We've got 42 live viewers. That's crazy. So this X thing, man, we should have been streaming to X this whole time. There's definitely way more viewers. Well done, 43. Tip of the proverbial hat to you there. So what else has been going on, guys? True Blue, what have you been up to, mate?
Oh man, I've said in one of our chats, I'm a bit of a free bird at the moment. So some things are going on with work. So I'm just spending as much time as I can catching up with other stuff. But I was going to ask, has anyone watched the video of the with BitBoy and Duchess of DeFi doing the stuff about PulseChain? Because I haven't watched it yet, but I'm just interested if anyone's got any feedback.
I haven't. That's awesome that he's doing a few streams and stuff specifically about PulseChain. Yeah.
So is that one RG or something on the stream? Is that one?
Yeah, there was one with Corey and RG3, and I know there was a separate one with KDP. But on Twitter, that one has 30,000 views, it says, which is quite surprising. But then on YouTube, it's only got about 3,000. So those Twitter numbers seem to be, quite different to what happens on YouTube. But I'm just interested to see how it went.
How many views do you think the highest stakes got on the plane flights?
It'd be interesting to know those numbers, wouldn't it? It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. I was just about to bring that up. Well done, Jackson.
That would have been triggering for a lot of people, I could imagine.
Especially on the way to a crypto conference.
I hope they watched it I hope they just watched it just for just to pass some time.
Did, man.
You're on a 14-hour flight, you might as well.
Yeah, that's
no, because if you're a hater and you're like, I'm just going to watch this just to see how ridiculous, like how much they're just pumping their own bags, and then they start watching it and realize that's not what this is.
Exactly. It's not
he might actually turn some people, like it might actually turn some people from haters to at least observers or listeners.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also the fact that when people see it, whether they hate it or not, they go, hang on, I'm on an Emirates flight and I'm seeing this on my screen. Maybe I should take a hedge that this thing doesn't actually take off and just buy some, because it's like that regret minimization thing that I learned from Tangent. And it's like, people can be bearish on something and think that it's going to be not do well. But when you start to see things like this, you might have to concede that it could do really well. And so they might just be buying a bag just in case, I reckon.
Yeah. So tell me the other cryptos. Tell me the other cryptos in the world that have something like that going on.
Exactly, man. And there's going to be a lot of normies watching it as well, just sort of going, oh yeah, I'll watch this. Looks interesting. So
I can't help but think about the first 5 seconds of the movie, and everyone turns to watch it, and Richard's first opening comment, and it's just like, some people would, just cringe straight off the bat, but it's pretty hilarious that it's been put in everyone's face, I think. So
with the movie that viewed on Apple and Netflix and all that, does it have that intro where Richard stands up and says, this is not me anymore, sort of thing, or was that just for the premiere?
That was, unfortunately, it would have been nice to include.
Yeah, that would have been an awesome opener, because it would have just set the stage so that people could take a bit more context out of the movie.
Yes, because then it makes you realize that he's playing a character, and that when he's being just, down to earth, he's just a regular guy saying, look, hey, this is me when I was in my outrage marketing phase. I think that adds a bit of legitimacy to it. So it would have been nice.
Yeah, and then he could have had on the end of it now moving to the gaslighting phase.
Yeah. That's right. Wall to wall's triggered again. That's so funny. Sorry, wall to wall. No, it's fine. No, upside down, bro. We're up infinity from zero. Didn't you get the memo?
Yeah, I have a fan fiction theory about wall to wall TV.
Oh,
I want to
okay.
hear it.
No, let's not.
Oh
trigger
no.
too much,
There's no way I'll say it live. Yeah, but I'll type it in the private chat so you guys can all know.
Oh, okay. No. Look, I'm just joking, man. Just
It's not like Hexalina, is it? The rumors about that one.
Nah, I don't think Hexalina is RH. I don't think RH is
No way.
pretending to be a chick that's into bloody anime and stuff. Cats. Yeah. But yeah, so I think wall to wall's comment though is kind of a valid one in a sense that maybe people will watch that doco and then just look up the EHEX chart, see that it's 99% down, and just be like, well, some people might think that's opportunity, but most people probably just move on. But if they go to hex.com, however, I believe it says something about a migration. And then, if people actually wanted to look into this stuff, it's like right here. I mean, this is the market has decided meme with RH, just given the EHEX, the double tap.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, it says right here that Hex on PulseChain is the official Hex. So it's not that hard for people to figure out. And then they can maybe go and buy it, presumably. How to buy it.
That statement, the market has decided, is just really disingenuous.
Yes.
Well, that's the meme, man. Yeah. That's the meme that I'm talking about. It's got a picture of like a guy like shooting someone, and then he's going, and then it's like RH, and then he says the market has decided. But look, if an asset is going to do well, it should be able to withstand. I mean, I think at that point, it went down another 50%. It was already down 98%.
So the Atropa ecosystems now. I think it's like the third biggest holder or something, or it's got soaked up a lot of the EHEX supply.
That is interesting. I've got a bit of a bone to pick with them. I'll see if I can find the video. I might have too many links open. But they basically, someone had, it was B Roots. All right, let me pull this up. You're probably not going to be able to hear it.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Hang on 2 seconds. If I open it as a tab. So.
Did you know that Richard Hart has a partner?
Can you hear that?
A literal rocket scientist.
Yep.
200 patents. Polymath, badass.
So, some say that it might be the Atropa developer, but there's no way, right?
Wasn't that debunked?
James, no. Yeah.
Yeah, this is why I'm saying
My name
got
is James Osborne.
bone to pick with them.
I've been involved with computers.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically the way that they had done that was they had sort of implied that because Richard had talked about working with a polymath, like a guy who had 250 patents and worked in aerospace engineering, that it was the Maria dev guy from Atropa. And the way that is framed, like this is B Roots sort of saying the dev that RH is talking about is the dev of Teddy Bear. So I think that's a bit disingenuous, right? Because, as it turns out, there's people in the chat to sort of go, oh, here we go.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome back. I've brought my polymath friend with me. This is David, the genius rocket scientist.
Nice to meet you.
250 patents and many, many $1 million of startups that he's founded. So glad to have you here.
Nice to be here.
All right. So a lot of people ask me questions.
So it probably doesn't. I don't need to go through that, but it just sort of got debunked really easily. Like someone was like, "No, it's not the Atropa dev that RH was talking about ages ago. It's this guy, David, who because they had that whole fluid dynamics, that CFD token that I think they were playing around with in the early days." So I just thought that was a bit disingenuous for people to kind of, and it sort of seems like with the PDI guys, they put the mysterious music on and they're like drawing lines from here to here, and they're like, you know, they're making it out as if there's some conspiracy.
It's unbelievable that shit works. Like honestly.
Oh, in the chat, in the comments, you see people just going, "Oh, I knew it. Of course, I was right all along," and all this stuff.
It doesn't give you a lot of confidence, does it? In the,
I think that's the mystery. That's the mystery of the system, though, isn't it? There's probably 50% fact and 50% fiction, and you got to wade your way through it.
Yeah, but I don't like it how they purposefully like
I don't know if it was intentional. Like if you listened to that interview or that video that James done, where they're all sitting around the table at the cafe, and he does say that he's worked for companies like that. So I guess they just drew a bow.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I mean, I've been doing work literally this week for guys who are doing a product for NASA. Like I'm literally doing engineering on a product at the moment that's being used by NASA for doing the satellite corrections. So they get feeds from the ocean, all sorts of data, and they're making corrections to satellites. But that doesn't mean shit. Like just because like what does that? It's the appeal to authority. Oh, NASA. Oh, well, then in that case we should listen to what he has to say. It's like it's either valid or it's not. Just because someone has associated or done something for someone of a perceived authority doesn't make it more valid.
I'd never seen that video of Richard and that dude either. So yeah,
logical fallacy.
No, it's just the selling of pure hopium. It's just like don't listen to what we're saying. Just kind of like be confused, and there's this black box where all this amazing stuff is happening, and this is and PDI is going to be stable at $1. Like
yeah, I mean you can come up with other reasons why you might like PDI because the price has gone up, therefore it's good or whatever. But don't make up stories.
You're betting on a whole lot of people buying the BS, which is actually a fair enough kind of like proposition. Like if you think people are going to be conned by it, then you know.
There seems to be a lot of people.
Guys, sorry, I've got to run.
Okay.
I'd love to actually have more of this conversation because I think there's a lot going on Atropa.
I wanted to hear your. I'm sorry that you got to go, Jason, because I actually wanted to hear what you were going to say about that.
That's cool. But yeah, I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to do it again next week.
That's right.
Yeah.
All good,
see you
man.
guys.
Thanks for coming on, Jexa.
See you, mate.
See ya.
Yeah, I mean it's just a meme, isn't it? Like, you know, you've got these whoops. Too many buttons. You know, you've got these narratives or memes, and so you know the PDI one, but they are doing things behind the scenes, aren't they? The Atropa things with in terms of bonding liquidity and burning LP, and I mean, but so's Tangang and these sort of things.
This whole narrative, and that all the things that these other kind of groups are doing as well, how we've worked out how to bond narrative and how so the price is only going to go up because we bonded narrative, and it's just like people don't understand liquidity, and they're just taking advantage of people who don't understand how LP works. They think that it's LP is bonding LPs is some sort of magical way of everything is going to go up, and it's like no. Means everything pulls everything else down as well.
It works both ways. Yeah. That's
you still need people buying. You still need like more buy pressure than sell pressure.
Exactly.
It really does come down to demand, you know.
It isn't that interesting that, you know, with the highest of stakes on the Emirates flights, you know, that's the type of stuff that I think that does create demand, like slow burner, long-term demand, if you can get it to eyes to new people rather than just, you know, talking to the same echo chamber. But yeah, in that regard, full credit to, you know, the Atropa guys for maybe capturing some of the new audience. But I just like to keep it real a bit and just sort of say, look, I think Hex could go to $1 just as easily as PDI. Like, so it's just a meme at this point. But
Oh yeah,
each to their own.
yeah. I think, yeah, I agree with that fully. I mean, if you buy the narrative that PDI can go to $1, and with the knowledge that Hex from Ethereum went from where it went to 56 cents, how could you not think that, well, it's possible for Hex to go to $1 on PulseChain? Like, how could you not think that's a possibility? So
because, okay, I'll tell you, because what did it take for Hex to go that high? It took the announcement. It took the announcement of PulseChain coming out, and people FOMOing into and sacking a whole lot of Hex for that.
Someone was buying a lot of Hex with a lot of ETH though, to make Hex go up. Maybe not to the 10,000x, but certainly to, like, say 1,000x. That was before PulseChain got announced, when it went to sort of 5 cents or something. So you could argue that that same player, it might still be there buying up the chart now.
Before the what was it? Before the fork, didn't Hex went from like about 1 cent to 12 cents?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Or
I mean,
yeah,
that,
say 2 cents maybe. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think PulseChain was announced when it was like a penny. I think it was more.
No. I'm talking in 2023, at the beginning of 2023, from January through to March, it went to 12 cents. From
that
like
was
1 point something cent when it was just on Ethereum, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, are you putting that down to just because there was a fork and people were buying for the fork? What I'm trying to say is that to frame it as if the only reason Hex could ever pump in future is because there needs to be a sacrifice, or there needs to be something else. I'm not sure if I buy it, man. I'm not sure if I buy that.
I mean, what
like to buy momentum.
What I think happened was that you had a whole lot of whales pumping the price so that they could sack their Hex at a really high dollar value, and then that caused a bit of a pump and blow off, and then
hang on, did you say he had just whales were buying, like in general whales were buying?
I mean, I have no evidence for this. This is my opinion. Like, because people
were definitely buying. There's no doubt about that. Right? People were buying.
Yeah. Well, obviously, but what I'm saying is that if you're a whale and you had a whole lot of Hex and you planned on sacking that Hex because you knew that it would go to never be sold again, what you would have wanted to, and you had a whole big bag of Hex, like when that sack was coming up, you want to pump the price to get the biggest dollar value for your sack. And it was as simple as that. And then it happened after the PulseChain sack, didn't it?
And I'm not sure if you guys remember the strategy that people were putting. Everyone was saying, hey, if you're going to sack, why don't you buy Hex and then sacrifice the Hex? Like people were saying, use this strategy, so at least you're going to pump the price of Hex and then sacrifice. Well. Yes, it's like, so I'm not sure if you guys remember that.
No, I do, because that was the theory that if you sacked it and then the sacrifice wallets never sells the Hex, then you're effectively locking up that Hex. So you're taking more of the supply off the market. Yeah. G'day, McNuggets. How you going, man?
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess my response to what you like the idea that you're putting forth, Louis, is that did that happen with BTC? Did that happen with Ethereum? Like, I don't know that we need the sort of narratives that you're putting forward. That I don't think we need them. I don't think we necessarily need those exact.
No, I don't think we need them
necessarily
because
at all.
Other things pump all the time. So I just think it's
absolutely. Doesn't need it, but it needs something. You need demand to come from somewhere.
Well, the more
just needs more people
narratives, the
fighting.
better.
Yeah.
The more narratives, the better, right? Like at the end of the day,
I think
you get
I
more.
think the
more
SEC
people fighting
thing.
for different reasons.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Sorry for. I think I've got a bit of a delay.
good.
Like,
It's quite common. Yeah, we always have that.
we do. I just think that this is something that it could easily do. I think, especially with this SEC thing, and I don't want to blame the SEC on the down, on the down, but it certainly doesn't help. It certainly doesn't help. That's for sure. It doesn't help having the SEC,
Fuck the SEC.
doing what they're doing.
Yeah, bunch of dirtbags. I mean, this whole thing of they're trying to help us. They're trying to protect us. It's like,
But
can
it
you
also
stop
works,
trying to protect us? Seriously.
it also works both ways, doesn't it? Like, people dump on the SEC news, and if there's good SEC news, then people will come back in because they think it's going to pump because of that good news.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I don't really
yeah,
care. Like in
more
terms of
people
the
have more
SEC
confidence.
stuff. Yeah,
You know?
it's nice to have more
But
confidence.
people are betting on other people's opinions. People aren't
As
betting
well.
on. That's only what it is.
No,
Well, shouldn't they be
It's not
betting on their
only.
own opinions?
I don't think
Like,
I don't think we're in a position to say. I think both
Well, that's
are possible.
mainly That's mainly
I
it's
don't even
people
think we
trying
can
to
say.
predict what everyone else is going to do. That's why you see war break out and everything just crashes like ridiculously. And
that's
it's like
just weak
you're just
hands, man.
panicking for
Shake
no
it
reason.
out.
You think that it's going to happen, so it does.
Yeah,
I've-
there's an
I have a
element
lot of
that-
confidence in what I see in the SEC stuff, like the lawyers and what's happened so far. Like everything I've seen, it fills me with so much confidence because
Yeah,
they
when you
seem
dig
to
into it,
really know what they're doing, and they seem to be attacking it in the right way. But that's not my my opinion based on what I just see other lawyers saying, like lawyers that have no dog in the race, so to speak. They're just giving their opinion on what they think the RH's lawyers have presented. And it just seems like they're all.
yourself. You can just read all their documents yourself, and kind of like and go, okay, the SEC has these arguments, RH lawyers have these arguments.
Yeah.
It's when you actually read through it all, it's like a no-brainer in terms of who has the strong case. Whether that plays out, the tricky thing is whether that plays out in American courts, because what's the judge going to think, or if it goes to a jury, like what on earth are these noobs who don't know anything about crypto? Are they going to understand any of
Does
this
it go to a jury?
Well, we don't know that yet.
They asked for it. The SEC asked for a jury trial. So if that's where it's heading, and it gets dismissed.
That's just so they can say the whole "look at him twerk, look at him twerk."
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
yeah.
Exhibit A, Your Honor, he's twerking. So I mean, like that might work.
Yes, come on. Yeah,
for a jury maybe, but I have a bit of a conspiracy theory. I'll have to get on with the PDI guys, that maybe the Uniswap lawyers could even be in contact with RH's lawyers, because if there's any precedent set in RH's case that could adversely affect the Uniswap case, like that's going to be bad for them, right? So there might be a little bit of a collaboration going on here where they kind of go, well, hang on, we've got to go in, so the Uniswap guys, Hayden Adams and whoever else, that they have to go in and do this court case with the SEC after the judge has made a ruling on RH case. So they really want to make sure that there's no precedent set that could adversely affect them. So you might see some collaboration.
It won't be public. It might be
back channels.
It might be the lawyers making the same arguments or referencing the case, but you won't see Hayden Adams talking about it at all.
No. Yeah, I agree with that. But I just mean like back channels, like they might say, hey, look, here's a really good point. If you guys bring this up, and then it goes in, and then they can cite it and say, look, this was a previous ruling where they've used this argument. So, I mean, I guess it could work.
It's so hypocritical of the Uniswap people, hey? Like,
yeah.
I mean, really, they should ban their own token from their own platform.
Good point.
Consistent.
It depends on what their criteria for why they gatekept EHEX on Uniswap, because I think it may not.
Yeah,
they did it. After,
they
did it
are
after
anti-good twerkers. Yeah.
They did it after the SEC case came out, and they said that Richard was just too good at twerking, so we have to gatekeep this. But I think one of the other criteria was that if there was any fraud allegations against a founder, so maybe to give fairness where fairness is due, that was one of. I mean, it's not within the purview of the SEC to be doing fraud allegations anyway. So you could argue that that's a DOJ thing anyway.
They've got literal frauds on Uniswap. That they haven't.
Yes, and that's another argument as well. But I'm just saying from a policy point of view, that I think maybe one of.
Well, I mean, of course, they're not going to ban their own token. You know, they're going to.
Yeah, but I see there's no fraud allegations with Uniswap token, so that maybe it doesn't meet that criteria. But anyway, fuck Uniswap. That's what I think. Like, I still will support them in their, you know, not anything I can do, but I really hope they win their case, and I hope that if there is anything that we can do to support them to win their case, then I would be, you know, all for that. But also, like, you know, they kind of dogged us, so I'm not terribly.
Yeah, they didn't have to. I feel like they did that out of a feeling of self-preservation. Like that's why I think they did that, because they. So, but it turns out that the SEC does not distinguish between RH and, like, they thought they were on some higher, some higher ground or something where they, you know, no, the SEC thinks they're scammers and fraudsters as well, and they're coming after them as well. So this idea that they were going to, like, distance themselves from RH and therefore, you know, elevate themselves so they're levitating above the rest of crypto, that didn't happen. And so they should just, like, realize that for Uniswap and Richard Hart, the SEC is the enemy. To me, it seems like the SEC is not really looking after the interests of crypto investors. Like, I don't see them looking after the interest of crypto investors. I can't see it. I'm sorry, I just can't see it. You know,
no,
I'm yet to be convinced that that's their MO. I believe that they're just trying to extract. Yeah, they're just trying to extract as much money as they can. Yeah, that seems very clear to me. I mean, you know, from where I'm standing, and, you know, I'm just an observer.
Yeah. But, you know, Cutlass could be right. The pole dancing clip could win them over. That might be the thing. That's Exhibit B, Your Honor. Objection. This is him on the stripper pole. Sustained.
Yeah. You can also install bidets, so you never know. That might be the tipping point.
Character reference. Yep. From the bidet installer guy that helped him or whatever. No, but he did it all himself. So yeah, he's just an all-round nice guy. There's probably a lot of, like, evidence they could get of him, like, for character, of him just slaying people in debates.
That's actually is. You know how, like, some people were saying that the reason he went to the US was to do stuff to do with Hex. The fact that he's got a video of him installing a bidet for his mum is the perfect defense of why he went to the US.
Absolutely. I think his mum was sick, man. I think she had some sort of sepsis or something from memory. So he just went to see his mum. So I don't think you can, you know, people try and claim. Yeah. As well, yeah. No, I think people just try and make shit up. You know, Eric Wall is just the king of the trolls, and he just likes to stir shit up. And, like, he said that RH only went to the US to win a bet against him in that video, and it's like, fuck off, Erica. Like, you're not that important, mate.
Well, history is written by the winners. So I think you know, Eric's getting ahead of himself there.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm not really fun. I find Erica funny, so I don't take it too seriously.
Yeah. Like
Speaking of
underneath
funny
that,
things,
I think I sort of perceive there to be like some sort of like quite an intelligent person underneath.
yeah, yeah. I've learned a lot from
All
Erica
that stuff.
about like MEV and
He had a
he's got
great
some really
tweet not so
interesting
long ago, like a really long thread that just went through all sorts of stuff, and it was fantastic. And I read through the whole thing and was
No, he's got
Yeah.
some good takes. I'd be interested to see his take on the runes thing that's going on at the moment. So at the Bitcoin halvening, there's these runes things that's happening. I think it's an ordinals inscriptions thing. But I noticed Dipcatcher said he's interested in runes on Bitcoin. So I was like, is Dipcatcher going to do like some sort of Gophers,
Probably.
inscription runes thing? It's a lot. He's been doing a lot lately, so I don't know if that's such a good idea.
Oh, I love their energy. They're fully out there trying stuff, and it's not all going to work, but they're out there trying and using the technology and, like trying to add value.
Yeah, it's good. It's just I saw this meme. I don't know why. Is this on the sides here? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but like, what are they meant to, like? They've just launched a staking. You can stake Gophers.
Yeah, you can stake Gophers. Yeah. But it's just like, if you keep creating new things, you got to look after the old things as well.
I've also heard him going into other like Twitter spaces and stuff, like talking to other communities. Like,
yeah, look, I think Dipcatcher's done some he's got to be one of the Chad devs in our ecosystem, like one of the best builders. I really thought that he would have been a great asset to have on RH's team for building PulseChain. I thought he would have been a huge asset, and he's built some amazing things. So, I still think Maximus and Desi and all that sort of stuff is really cool. And I think there was too many tokens. I think I've said this when it's like we got to the pool party stuff, and I was just there was just too many things. So I guess it's maybe just a focus thing. But the Gophers were funny. I thought they were pretty funny. But yeah, to do it on runes, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what those runes things are. If it's how that's different from ordinals, like your standard Bitcoin ordinals.
Ordinals, you can't do. Like, there's no AMM. Like, you can't go in and buy at a market price. It's just people put up, I'll sell this many ordinals for this much money. I'll sell this much for this much money. And you can you can meet those, but there's no kind of like aggregated kind of decks. Whereas I think with runes, and I haven't looked into it too much, to be honest, but I think that's what you're going to be able to do.
It'll be interesting to see, because that's happening at the halving, which is like today, in like 15 hours. So, and then there's going to be the 420 thing tomorrow, which is normally a meme coin sort of day of celebration because of the Stoner 420 thing. And so I think Tangang might be doing a conference.
Yeah, they are.
On 420. So that could be good. You're muted, 43.
The halvening won't be on 420. It should be on 420 if it's in 16 hours, because starting by UTC time.
Our time it will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be on the 20th of May. Yeah.
It'll be on the 20th. So
the Tangang conference thing, because they'll be doing a 420 stream. So that'll be interesting. They've been coming out with tokens. They did a banana token the other day, or is it Nanana?
Banana.
So they've got the full fruit salad going now. Yeah.
They've even got a fruit wrap as well, so it can eat all those fruit tokens. So there we go.
Yeah, look, as long as you're making money off those things, I think that's fair game.
Someone is.
Look, I did all right on a couple of them, that's for sure. Yeah, and I did really well from SolidX, man. That's not Tangang, but That's crazy. Although it does look like it's sort of done a bit of a I think on the 4 hour, it looks like it's done a bit of a dead cat bounce. Have you guys 43 wouldn't have, because he's a RH man from way back. But the SolidX chart. Oh, that's what I was going to say. If anyone wants to show me some coins or whatever at the end, like I'm happy to just bring them up quickly and show charts, that sort of thing. Yeah, this was the one that I was saying, like, that looks pretty nasty with the double top there. So you might see it come back down to that fibs down there. But yeah, look, it did well. If you were trading it, I'm sure people could have made money, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Some people don't like to trade, but
yeah.
Speaking of traders, I thought this was funny. Did you see that crypto face guy? He was trying to bridge his wrapped ETH out of PulseChain. And so I had a bit of a go at him ages ago because he was having a cry about something else, saying he couldn't get a price for like, for Pulse or something. And we're like, bro, just look on Dex Screener. And he was like, what's Dex Screener? And everyone was like, oh, he must be joking, right? Because he's this big, trader and stuff. And then I was thinking, well, it sounded a little bit too honest in some of his replies where he genuinely didn't know what Dex Screener was. And maybe he just does all these trades and stuff on exchanges. And then now this is him again. I reckon this is the confirmation that he didn't know what Dex Screener was, because now he couldn't figure out how to connect his wallet to the bridge. And then rather than, just asking someone in the community who would have been happy to sort of troubleshoot it with him, he just did a big cry post. Yeah, I thought that was funny anyway.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, the connecting the wallet one, having the issues, saying that like it's all screwed, and how can you expect the chain to perform when you can't even connect a wallet? It's like, have you ever thought that could be a local issue? Like something going on with your browser or something, not because no one else is having the issues.
Yeah, no one else has had that problem.
So shitty though. Like we have lots of people coming in complaining they can't connect with the Acosta app, and I know it's just MetaMask. MetaMask is just incredibly glitchy.
Well, that's it. Maybe they need to use Rabby, or maybe there's something else. But it seems like user error to me, because I've never had any problems with the bridge. I've used the bridge like heaps, like a ridiculous amount of times, and I've never had any problems. So yeah, maybe it was something specific, but then just troubleshoot it, right? Don't have to like flame the whole thing.
That's it.
Did you see that that there was a thing that was during the week? There was that was it Durkee Turkey, and he did some video, and Sommy forgot his name, and then he did like a skit where he got Sommy's photo and he just flamethrowed it, and he's like, anyway, that was pretty funny. Is there anything else you guys want to chat about? There was the Ethereum ETFs, and
I've got to head off, so I'll say goodbye to everyone.
No worries.
Have a good weekend, and later to everyone in the chat. I'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks, 43 man. Always good to see you, man. Catch you, bro. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, I've just been looking at the ETH Gwei lately, and it's pretty low. And I've just been thinking how are people making the most of that, and is anyone doing any planning? Either shuffling stuff around or doing bridging at the moment. Just native coins or something moving over to PulseChain, just in getting ready for the bull run or something, or for some plays that might be happening. So one thing I was thinking about was the Icosa and Hedron stuff. Like, is it worthwhile at the moment bridging that stuff over because of the V2 stuff that's happening, or is that going to be like a claim function? Yeah.
I'd wait, because we just don't know the details yet, and before it goes live, there'll be test nets. Yep. So we're far off from Icosa Hedron V2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no idea how far we're off, but like we haven't even reached testnet yet. Alex has said, it's going to be, he's just working on the web UI, but it's been quite a while now. So It's been pumping though the last kind of day or two. I think Asami mentioned it a couple of times, and it's the prices are so low. But yeah, I wouldn't go bridging it unless you're wanting to trade it. Then I'd bridge from Ethereum over to PulseChain and trade the Ethereum version on PulseChain, because that's where all the liquidity is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
just leave it staked.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving the share rate from back when it was staked. So unstaking it is a scary thing, but if we get to like Gwei when it's like it was the other day, like 350 or something, and then all of a sudden he says, yeah, you have to bridge it across to stake it or whatever.
Good point.
Yeah, but he'll give first of all the test nets.
Yeah.
So you can decide. You'll have a lot of time to decide what to do beforehand.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
And then, but for me, the Gwei thing is just starting to mint Zen.
Yeah.
Like when
that was one of you was waiting for it.
Gwei is low, man. You just
it's cool.
Yeah, that is one way to do it. Yeah, I had a bot that was doing that. That was a while back, but might have to resurrect it. But the other thing you can do when the Gwei is low is revoke permissions. If you go to revoke.cash,
that's a good one, actually.
That's a good one, because I've done that before, where you kind of go to revoke permission. It's like $20, and you're like, what? Or just a revoke? I just want to revoke, and it's like, for some reason I've done some like infinite, unlimited spend of like DAI or something, and I'm like, that's not good. And then I look at it, I think I better revoke that. Why did I do max DAI? And it's like, I don't have any DAI anyway, so it's probably not a big deal. But then you can kind of wait until, depending on which wallet, you're in different wallets and stuff. So,
yeah.
But when the Gwei is low, I like to revoke cash.
That's a good idea. Yep.
Permissions.
Unless if you got hex stakes to unstake, now's the time. But we can't all be so lucky.
Bleeding out.
Yeah,
they're going to have to be pretty high, even at these low Gwei prices. Even if you because it dropped so much. Yeah. It would have been fine if he hadn't said anything, and it would have stayed around that level. We could have actually
didn't choose. Yeah, exactly.
At this low Gwei, we could have minted fine, but now that it's so low, you really probably need more than 40 shares or something like that. Yeah, going to be minted.
Well, I've only been buying PHEX since the fork, right? And because I sort of, the Gwei is the issue on Ethereum, and so I was always just sort of concentrating on that. But it is so low with the Ethereum hex now. It's kind of like you can buy 1 million EHEX for it's like $1,700. It's not that much. And I remember thinking, if it goes down to 1 cent, I can get 1 million EHEX for 10 grand. And it's like, I might just send that out for Quattro Cinco, like 1 million X, just for fucking shits and giggles now, because it's getting low, man. It's getting real low. So that's like a regret minimization thing as well. But I don't know. I can't help but pour my economic energy into the PulseChain side, and especially when things are pumping. And we saw that PHEX today, on a 30% pump. So sometimes you got to respect the pumps. And I did a similar thing when I think I had a bunch of shit coins that I sort of rotated into SolidX at the time, because I thought, well, it's cranking up, and then I was able to take profits and buy those things back at a lower price. So you can sort of play that game. One thing I was going to say is that's interesting about the Icosa and Hedron sort of thing. Sometimes people say, Somi, I'm looking at you, that Icosa is a leverage play on Hex, and but the problem, I guess, is that Pulse is a leverage play on Ethereum, right? In a sense, and you could argue, because one, the SAC wallets have got a lot of Ethereum, 170,000 ETH, pumping it up. It is a fork, a direct L1 fork of Ethereum. So you're already, and the liquidity, Pulses, if if Ethereum goes up, I would think that Pulse is going to do quite well. And then if Pulse does well, then, you know, maybe Hex will do well. And then if Hex does well, then Acosa might do well. But the problem is if you're stacking these leverage things on top of each other, it's not just a leverage on Hex, like it's like Acosa or some derivative. Everything is leveraged on everything else. So yeah, it's like, I mean, it could be good, but you have to consider the risk goes up every time you introduce another step of leverage in the chain. But yeah, it could be good. I'm more of a, so Zombie's thing is, you know, you just buy the blood, and then, you know, that's a good strategy. And I think it obviously works for some people. But I'm more of a consolidation trader where I like to see a bit of movement. Then I know that I'm not completely risking my bag in something that's, so that's why I like to see, a bit of momentum.
So you're saying a bit of confirmation that we're down near a bottom type thing, rather than
I would like to see Acosa do something, do some movement before I'm sort of start getting bullish on it. But you know, different people have different strategies. You know, mine could be wrong. Bit finesse, old school. Investing in cryptos like investing in kitchen appliance companies. Ask instant brands. That's how it's going. New narrative. Own enough crypto to buy a plane ticket out of your tyrannical country. Well, I think Bluey's already done that. So he's ticked that box. That's probably more of a comment on just tyrannical governments. I'd have to agree with that. I mean, there's this Israel retaliating against Iran with some missiles today after Iran was retaliating from a embassy in Syria that Israel had already bombed. So it's just like retaliation on retaliation. It's like, can you guys just stop maybe bombing each other for a while? But anyway, that's the way. Oh, Dingo's in the house. He's just come up with a new Tengan coin while we were chatting during the stream. There's a new one. That makes sense. Puff. Oh, I thought that would be like a 420 thing, like a joint thing. But no, Power Puff. Okay. Each to their own.
What are Power Puff girls?
Power Puff girls are like
they were like wasn't that
girls in
kids
the
cartoon
90s.
Yeah.
Like with these girls, like anime girls or whatever. I don't know. I never watched it, man. I was watching like Ninja Turtles or something. That's cool. That's cool. Ash says he uses MetaMask. Okay, yeah. It's funny when you see some of these guys do MetaMask swaps. Like some people get like BitBoys wallets or whatever, and you can see they're just doing all their swaps.
Well, Andrew Tate, I think someone was looking at Tate who's doing MetaMask.
You're like, what? Why don't you just
giving away money like
DEX?
Yeah.
But it's like, anyway. So what did you guys think about there was the ETF, the Ethereum ETF getting approved in Hong Kong? That didn't seem to affect the market. I thought that was going to be bullish.
Yeah, I mean, I know Hong Kong, you know, is quite a big population, but at this stage of the market, I don't know if that sort of just one area is really going to give us a massive pump, or give it Ethereum a massive pump, because it was already at a pretty high price, I reckon, in comparison to, you know, Bitcoin. So I don't see ETH just breaking out like that on its own myself. But
it's a good point. It's not like it's a BlackRock ETF, is it? It's just like I don't even know who it was in Hong Kong.
It's Chinese, isn't it? It's Chinese money, and maybe the Chinese don't give a shit about, like, why would we can buy the real thing? Why would we go and buy an ETF?
Yeah,
like
could be.
In America, there's like tons of people, and there's all these 401ks or whatever, and there's like companies, and they can't get into the real thing. They have to get the government authorized thing. So that makes sense that that's where that goes. But I don't know if the Chinese market works the same way.
And And Tether just printed another $1 billion. It looks like another billion Tether out of thin air. So as Tether likes to do, so that's can only be good news. Just inject like, well, it's not good news for, you know, maybe Tether like keeping its peg, but and future risk of Tether depegging. But it's certainly good if it means there's more money in the system floating around.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I noticed as well, 9inch, they have single-sided staking, because I think Sammy was asking about it, Sammy Chico. And I was like, I don't know, I think they do, because from memory, they had some single-sided staking pools. But what I didn't realize, because it's like, yeah, if you stake 9inch and then you get BBC, but if 9inch and BBC both go down in price, then you're not winning like in this trade, right? But it looks like you can stake PLSX in single-sided staking and earn BBC.
Yeah.
So
for 1.6 or something APY.
But but it says locked EP.
You have to lock it up.
Yeah. But you have to lock it up to get the 39% APY.
You also have to check if they're taking
a deposit,
like a deposit or if you want to get out, they might be taking it either end like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Good point. I think they're taking, it looks like up to 2% fee. So maybe that doesn't work for large amounts.
And for getting their token, which they print out of thin air and has probably
the BBC. Yeah, I haven't looked at that chart for BBC for a while, but I remember at the time it was not great.
I mean,
it hasn't the whole 9inch ecosystem has sort of pumped recently. You know, with that solid index or whatever, you know, a lot of that's tied to it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it has done a pretty big pump recently, but I think it's dropped back down again.
Okay.
The past few days, but they've got
a really big pump as well recently.
Which one?
Fux.
Who did that?
Fux.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Although it was down forever for quite a while, but now all of a sudden it's just kind of doubled, done a double or something. So
could have sold on a double, bro.
Yeah.
Well, one of the charts of that I was looking at, it said it was up 100%, but it just had a massive red candle on it. So I haven't looked. That was just on deck screen on my phone. But I was looking at the wrong pool, I reckon. But it was really weird how it was showing up 100 and it just had a big red candle. It's like that's a bit strange. But
you
the
gotta make sure you're on the right pool.
Yeah, that's it. The 9inch guys are about to release that Lowest of Stakes movie, so I reckon that looks like a good one when that comes out.
That's interesting. Although, if it's just Hexy bastard just spending heaps of sack money on what's it called, renting Lambos and stuff. Although that could be funny as well, but
I think it's got a community feel to it, so that should be good as long as it's not just him like drinking on stream. I think it'll be all good. He seems like a real funny guy and pretty good guy, but I think the movie will be a good laugh. That's for sure.
Yeah, it could be funny. I think it's good that they've got these PRC20 farms as well. So because you don't see it on PulseX where you can farm like the P versions of like wrapped BTC and Pulse and stuff.
It's full DGen land, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's what it's all about. That's why they launched 9inch, to be for the DGens. So
and they do have. Remember they had that DCA tool as well. They got this DCA tool, which I thought was cool. You could set up to buy, whatever hex or something. Surely, they're all just random DGen coins. Here we go. So you could set it up to scale out of like hex into Pulse for every day for a week or whatever. And they've got limit orders, but that does use the 9inch pools. I think the Tetra limit orders is actually better because they use the PulseX pools, so you probably
Yeah.
get less slippage, better order execution.
Speaking
on
of
those
the
pools.
limit orders, do you think we'll get the limit orders on PulseX now that Uniswap has limit orders?
Ooh, that is interesting because I did see that there were gasless limit orders
Yeah.
on Uniswap,
Yeah.
but I thought that we were a fork of PancakeSwap. I thought that PulseX was a for. I know obviously PulseChain is a fork of Ethereum,
Yeah.
but I thought that the DEX PulseX was a fork of PancakeSwap. I could be wrong. It could be
I
just
thought
a
that
fork of
was-
Uniswap v2.
Yeah. I thought that was when they were looking more at doing PulseChain as what were they going to fork it as before in the beginning?
They were
Was
going to
it
fork
BSC?
BSC. Yeah. That in terms of the chain, they were certainly going to, and they
Yeah.
didn't do that. They waited for Ethereum to do the merge, and then there was a fork of Ethereum 2.0.
Yeah.
But in terms of the DEX, I thought the
Yeah.
DEX was a fork of PancakeSwap. So
Yeah,
whether we would just, although maybe you can just implement that. I think there's been some PancakeSwap v4 updates that they can probably implement fairly easily.
Yeah, cool.
That was another thing that, because there was this, wasn't there that thing about stable swap? Do you
I'm
guys
not
remember that?
Mm.
There
What's
was
Never heard of them.
stable swap. So I think it's kind of like Curve. You know how Curve does all these oh, here we go. So PancakeSwap does this thing called stable swap. And I think it's all just it's like an additional function, and because one of the devs, I think, in the like the PulseChain GitHub had forked this part of stable swap.
Yeah.
So the implication was that maybe the devs were planning on implementing that into PulseX. But one thing is, I've played around with various code bases before, and you guys may have as well. And the easiest thing to do is you just fork someone's thing, and then you can play around with it. You can look at it. So just forking someone's code doesn't mean you're going to use it. It just means that you just want to have a play, and because you can just literally just clone someone's repository, and then just have a play with it in Visual Studio, and then so maybe the dev was just looking around.
Hey, do you want to do some TA on the PZen chart?
Sure, mate. Sure. Let's do the
intro.
The intro for this segment, and then we can wrap it up. But I did this. Oh, here we go.
Show me what you got.
Jim, you heard them. Said, show me what you got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Oh, I still laugh at that. I don't know if anyone else finds that funny, but anyway, in the chat, show me what you got. If you want to see a coin, I will bring it up and have a look. Most people have stopped watching anyway. No, I'm just joking. Thanks for people who are still watching. Appreciate you. Blue Bum, what was your coin you wanted to check out, mate? Was
PZen.
it
Zen on
Okay.
PulseChain. Yeah. PX.
While you're looking that up, PulseX website says PulseX is a Uniswap fork.
Oh.
With PLSX liquidity provider incentivization. So I know they mix and matched a few things there, but yeah, according to that, it is.
So you were right.
So
you were dead right then. So unless it means that PancakeSwap was a fork of Uniswap, and if it forked PancakeSwap, it's a fork of a fork, or maybe you're just dead right. It's probably like
maybe could have been priced in.
Just priced in. No, but it's probably arbitrary the more I think about it, where like, any implementation that Uniswap has with their DEX can probably be used by either PancakeSwap or PulseX.
Yeah,
so it's probably a moot point. But yeah, that does sound cool. If we can get gasless limit orders on PulseX.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah. So PZen, okay, let's have a look at it. Against Pulse, I'm guessing, and there's 18K of liquidity. This is on PulseX.
Yeah, maybe let's look at it not in terms of USD. So we take out all the Pulse kind of movement and just go look at it in terms of Pulse.
In terms of Pulse, that's exactly what I was going to do, bro. So I think that is always a sensible thing to do. So just stick it on log. Let's have a look at, natural lines. So this is the 4 hour. Let's go daily. Oh, wow. So yeah, this is, Tangent Coin. This this is the forked copy. Yeah, so this isn't actually the original.
No, it's not the forked copy.
Isn't it?
No, that's the new one.
Okay, so it's a.
Oh, did they deploy it? They deployed it on.
There's an OG Zen on PulseChain, and that will have a different. That will have a different. It'll be called OG Zen, I think.
Okay. Well, in terms of it looking like, in terms of a chart, I would say there's natural resistance right there, and you can see that it wicked above it, but couldn't close above it. So that's kind of bearish, but also support. Yeah, I mean, if you look here, right, candle bodies I'm looking at, it's sitting right on that support. In fact, it looks like it's just bounced off it. So in terms of resistance and support, I mean, you could do a fib retracement on that, but let's do it in terms of pulse, so we're not sort of deluding ourselves. It's basically been going sideways for a long time, had a massive series of pumps, and these wicks are people dumping into this pump. So there's a lot of people on the sidelines that sold down these pumps, is what that looks like to me. It made higher highs, and then now it's going down. So it looks like it's about to possibly do a trend reversal here. That looks like a, those doji candles, they're like sold down. That could be a trend reversal. What do they call it? It's like a hammer, but it's like it's an inverse hammer. Actually, no, yeah. So that means that it's gone up, it got sold down. So normally that indicates like it's going to go down further. Because yeah, it's been sold down. It's still green, but it's if it made a higher high, I'd be bullish. And if it broke this whatever this is here, wrong tool. If it broke this line here, so this is 4067, and if it's retested it, I think then you could say that the uptrend is still on. But yeah, if it goes up here and rolls over, then it's made a lower high, and I think it's a sell. So, and that's against Pulse. So depending on whether you're trading against Pulse or you're swapping back and forward between Pulse. But yeah, interesting that it actually had some movement. I mean, that's what you like to see, right? Like someone must have been buying it up.
I think that what might be happening, look, first of all, there's a ton of inflation all coming out. So there's always going to be that downward pressure, especially, in the first couple of years. But the thing is that because X1 is getting closer and closer, and when X1 comes out, people will be able to burn their PZen in order to get XN on the new chain. And so I wouldn't be surprised if, similar to like what happened with Hex, with those sacrifices, if the whales might not try to pump the price so that they can, when they swap their PZen, they can get a good dollar value to get into XN. And that could be happening across all of the Zen. So it's like that's something to look out for. With that. And also, just to answer the question to Retrostatic, he asked if there's any use for VMPX on the east side plan, and yeah, there is. They've been saying that But they're finalizing the tokenomics now, so it'll be out kind of shortly, like all of those kinds of tokenomics. But they've definitely said they'll be doing something with every single one of the things that they've released. So VMPX on the ETH side, VMPX on the ordinals Bitcoin side. Also, that there's X1 and there's Pussy and there's
See, I liked Audi as an ordinal because it was the first ordinal. Like it was like the first mover advantage of ordinals. But that Vampire X thing, I don't know whether is that doing okay or
it's a little bit down from when people minted it. But it's pretty much just going sideways because people are waiting to see what happens with when the tokenomics come out and how much they should value it.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. And so Finbear has said, do not see it because ETH is dumping. It gives opportunity to add to liquidity on the ETH side, the LP, without the ARB bots immediately bridging in value over to ETH. I might have to think about that. But yeah, that's interesting. The other thing that I've heard,
if you're going to trade anything like that, like get ETH on PulseChain, and if you just wanted to try to time markets and stuff, I would just be trading on buying ETH on PulseChain and the wrapped ETH, and then you can move in and out without having to worry about gas prices.
Okay. And the other thing that I just remembered is, some people were sort of saying that, or maybe it's a topic for another day, but that with RH, when the SAC wallets bought a whole bunch of ETH, that it was sort of, buying the local top of ETH, which turns out that was the local top, not the cycle top. So let's not shit ourselves. You've got to look bit bigger picture. But certainly that trade is like underwater now. The thing about that is there's been a bit of speculation with Maker and with DAI leaving Ethereum. And there's been a whole bunch of weird stuff going on with, Vitalik sold his Maker and the Maker CEO was like murdered or something in Puerto Rico. And there was
that was one of the devs. Yeah, he did but
was that a dev, was it? I can't remember. Anyway, there was some weird and the P guy
illness, but he started going. I think he was on one of those Caribbean islands, and
I thought it was Puerto Rico.
Anyway, people were going to be after him because of child trafficking and stuff that he knew about, and
he watched one too many pegging videos.
But you have to take that stuff, seriously to an extent as well, because we know that the intelligence agencies are infiltrating crypto groups, and like they did that to Bitcoin, and it sounds like, and they're probably doing it to Ethereum as well, and Maker would be that's a stable, that's a competitor to stable coins, and they want stable coins with their CBDCs probably. Hey,
true. Yeah, that's definitely on the cards. So I guess what I was saying is that the risk with DAI might have been the perceived risk at that time. It might to go the move into ETH by the SAC wallets could have actually been a de-risking of DAI if they considered that DAI was not a good store of value for whatever reason. Obviously, the SAC wallets aren't in USDC because Circle was corrupt and they can just freeze accounts and things like that. Yeah. So whereas maybe they thought, DAI
DAI was a better option. Yeah.
Well, that's why they were in DAI as a better option for sure. But if they perceived that DAI was in any way risky, then maybe that's why it moved into ETH as well. So that's another potential a thing there. But anyway, that was a bit of a random tangent. Tetra uses, or the limit orders uses.
He could have just FOMO'd as well,
Yeah, maybe just FOMO'd at the top.
Just because he's a billionaire and he's done all this stuff, like he can also get FOMO and think, shit, it's going to run away from me. I don't want to be holding these stables while.
Yeah, and my pet theory was that it was the lawyers gave him the go ahead. Like maybe he was waiting, or maybe the SAC wallets were waiting, and there was something changed in the case, and they thought, at this point, you know, it's okay. Whereas maybe before they weren't able to do it because they thought it would adversely affect the case. But it's all speculation. So Red Squirrel has clarified that the Tetra limit orders use the PulseX pools, but also Flux and 9 millimeter. So that's cool. He's also asked for me to quickly have a look at the Tetra P. So let's do that. I'm assuming that it's on PulseX has the highest liquidity. So it's 227K. And this is against Pulse. Oof. Oh, man. Oof. Let's just go on a log here. Even the log chart doesn't even do it many favors. But, you know, we've been in a pretty big downtrend.
Buy zone, as someone would say.
Yeah. So this is this is probably, if I plot it in terms of Pulse, it's probably going to paint a different picture.
I mean, Red Squirrel, what's the latest with like whether they're actually coming out with their product or not? Like, I know they've done all that limit order stuff, but the whole limit order thing doesn't excite me at all. What excited me was all the other stuff they were going to do that apparently was going to be on testnets, but we never actually saw it. But you know, where they like, I mean, this is probably just people losing confidence because that hasn't come out.
Yeah, that's the thing, is people would just have that 2 more weeks fatigue. So, you know, I think everyone wanted to play with the Tetra, the main.
Or maybe look at it in terms of Pulse. He's saying that's you pulled up against the dollar.
I will indeed. I just wanted to point out that this is interesting because the lowest candle close on the weekly here, if you paint it there, it wicked right down to it. It wicked right down to it here. So someone may have actually used a Tetra limit order to buy the Tetra price at that 404 because it looked like that was the support. So that's an interesting wick. But yeah, let's check it out in Pulse. Look, it's not great, man. Like, it's making lower highs, right? And lower lows. So let's have a look at support.
Well, it's cheap.
Yeah, it's sitting on like the last leg of support right now. And look, it wicked down to that level of support there. It wicked down to it a lot. This is a crucial level, man. 5.83 pulse per Tetra P. For some reason, that this is a number that people don't want that ratio to go below. So yeah, it would be nice to see it bounce off that before I would enter that trade. It's certainly making lower lows and lower highs. I'd wait for the confirmation.
Maybe as Hunter would say, it's worth having a bit of a nibble at those levels.
Well, that depends on your risk tolerance, man. If this candle closes below it, this week isn't over. You know, if the candle closes below it, then the trend is broken. And then the next step down is like 4.4. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get fake outs. I don't know.
I mean, anytime you're buying something like this with this low, you just have to be willing to DCA. In fact, generally speaking, you know, you've got to keep powder ready to, if it does do bigger dips. But this is where you do get the value, you know, if it eventually does get up.
It's the highest risk reward part of before you see the actual confirmation. But I don't know. Like I say, I prefer to see it do a trend reversal, retest that level, and then you don't get the maximum gains, but at least you don't just bleed out. Yeah, that looks like. Oh, here we go. Ash has said, have a look at Chetan. Thanks, guys, for giving me some stuff to look at. So this is a Tangan coin. It's on 9mm, 213K liquidity. Oh, it's priced, the main pool is against HOA. So HOA, I think it's been doing quite well.
That's what they do with all of those HOA coins. They put them in liquidity pools with each other.
Oh shit! I didn't. Sorry, I didn't have that shared. Let's just put that. Actually, I'll leave that up so that people can see. It might be easier to see what I'm charting. So yeah, look, this looks good, man. just in US dollars. So it had its launch, the first day. You can't really say anything about that because it's a giant, what do they call it? The Darth Maul candle. And then it looks like there's a support here. Where's my raise? There it is here. So that's oh wow, this has got like 9 zeros, 9.6. That's crazy low. So yeah, you could probably just like literally throw some lunch money at this. And it looks like it is in price discovery. I mean, it's only just launched and it's only really gone up. If I put it in HOA, it's even been going up against HOA, which is pretty impressive. And that has a floor as well of about.
I mean, Tangent did that great spreadsheet where he showed all the HOA coins, and it's like, what do you need for a shark position? And I'm like, a lot for like $9 or something.
$3 and stuff.
So,
yeah. Shout out to Tangent. That was a really cool spreadsheet. I think Somi loved it, and I think a lot of people saw a lot of value in that. And it's nice just to have all of the Tangan coins in one place. I actually said to Tangent in the private chats that he should consider either using, Google Sheets. You can use the API, that the Deck Screener API. You can get updated live feed of the data into his spreadsheet. So it's like a real-time spreadsheet, and make it publicly available, or
on a website.
Could put it on a website and have all those. So you could literally just have like a coin ranking site like CoinMarketCap.
Just for HOA.
Just for HOA coins. Yeah. And then you could see, but to put the little and make it real time, you can get the API data from Deck Screener. It wouldn't be that hard to do. And then but also to include those shark position, like, because I think that's a nice thing where people can kind of go, and maybe even an explainer of like, a whale position is 1%, a shark position is 0.1% or something like that. So then people kind of go, oh, holy shit, I can actually get a huge amount of the supply for relatively small amount of money. Particularly for people with less funds, it gives them something to play with. Yeah, depending on So yeah, I thought that was really cool. So shout out to Tangent for doing that that spreadsheet. I thought that was really cool.
Should we have
oh no, True Blue, you've been shaken out, bro. That's all right. That's cool, man.
Should we have a look at Tom Gillespie's coin? G'day. That's on. That's also a HOA.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll make this one maybe the last one, because I think we're running out of coins. Oh, they did a stream with RH Max. Okay, so that might be worth. Check out RH Max's streams. He's really good quality, and that's probably the Tetra guys, is it?
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, percentage of supply is all I care about. Okay. Oh, cool. Ash likes that idea. You could literally call it CoinMarketCap. That would be
CoinMarket.crap.
That's wicked. You heard it here first on the happy hour. Now, you wanted to do, so the last one we're going to chart is, did you say G'day?
Yeah.
Let's check that out. So that's for old mate Tom Gillespie, who's a all-round nice guy. This looks like it is, that's a cool logo with the koala. So this is pulled with HOA. If you look down, so sometimes this is good to look at, because you kind of think, hang on. So there's actually 40 grand liquidity each side. And sometimes it's, I like to look at these things. You can look at whether they have, taxes, whether they're honeypots, so it's proved that you can buy and sell. And, there's a lot of information here you can have a look at. But yeah, let's have a look at it. So this is in USD. I pull out my trusty Ray. So yeah, I mean, I guess here So these sorts of levels. So this is in fact, you could do a fib on this. Oh, actually, you probably want to go to the wick for the fibs. So this is the sort of the uptick, the upswing and the downswing. This is how you do it here. So these sorts of levels. Oh yeah, look, that's at the that got rejected off here, and now it's above it. Okay, so in USD terms, it looks like it's sort of done a trend reversal because it's making higher highs, right? So it's obviously down a lot, but it's making what looks like higher highs, and it's just gone to this next fib level. So it could go to the 61.8 as the next move up. That would be bullish. Let's see what it looks like in terms of HOA. It's pretty much down and to the right against HOA. Maybe that's because HOA has been doing quite well. But yeah, when you price it against HOA, it doesn't look as good. So you'd probably be better off being in HOA. Yeah, it's making lower lows, lower highs. Okay, so it's bullish against the dollar. But
can you look at it in terms of pulse?
It won't show it because it's only pulled against HOA.
Oh, really? There's no other pulls against pulse?
There might be. Oh, there is. It's just got smaller volume, so 3.5K. So let's put that against pulse. Oh, okay. Interesting. It's certainly on an uptrend against pulse. Higher highs. So this is the thing is, when someone says, is this coin good? You have to say within what context. You have to say over what time frame. So, yeah, if you were buying it against pulse, it was really good here and it was really shit here. So it doesn't make sense to say a coin is good. But if you're talking about right now, then you have to say with respect to what. So with respect to the dollar, I think we were saying it looks quite good. With respect to pulse, it's looking quite good, making higher highs. With respect to HOA, it's actually on a downtrend. So depending on where you're trading against what, but yeah, certainly at the moment, it's in an uptrend. So that's good. Not a heap of liquidity. Say again, mate.
The W there, like it's just fully made the.
Yeah. Some of these low cap charts, like even if you go log and auto and everything, this actually looks like someone's scaling out through LP. When you see the
is that a daily or
staircase?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that looks like someone's actually DCAing out like through LP, like they're sort of. But it's made a bit of a recovery there, and this is against pulse. So if it could break the all-time high, I don't know why that keeps doing that, but anyway, it needs to go above 0.001283 pulse per day, and then it would be in price discovery against pulse. So again, I would wait for it to break it and then wait for the retest. But yeah, low liquidity. Some of these things worth playing around with a little bit, but probably not put heaps of money in there because
this is like chucking $20, $50 or something. Really.
Yeah, this is like beer money type thing. Yeah, I think
it's cool to have a little bit and support Tom though and his coin. So I think it's good.
I do like that idea as well. Sometimes you just think you want to support a guy who's doing a thing or a founder, and you think that this would be a cool tool or something. So I kind of like the Tetra guys, yeah. And there's good actors and bad actors, so you have to take that into account. But yeah, that's up for everyone else. Is there any other sort of words of wisdom or anything you want to say before we wrap it up? Maybe Blue Bum, do you want to go first?
Don't sit on ZenBlocks mining. That's my hot tip.
Here we go. The ZenBlocks, you reckon?
ZenBlocks mining, yeah. Let's look into it.
I will look into it. Yep. I think I did look into it recently. Oh, there was something that about it that I'd have to look into it, and I'll see if I can find my issue that I had, and then I'll ask you about it, because you might be able to enlighten me about it, because I came across one thing and I was like, oh, hang on, is that? But yeah, it was from a stream that I was watching about it, but I was driving as well. Is there anything else you just reckon? Check out the ZenBlocks mining.
Yeah, look, Zen and ZenBlocks is where I've been putting like a ton of attention and energy into sussing out. I really like looking for those really innovative things that are where there's not as many people into it right now, or not people
Okay.
or there's a bit of a barrier of entry, and so that's where I've been kind of concentrating my attention lately, and I think as a medium term play, that's the smart move.
Cool, man.
Cool.
Medium and long.
Interesting. True Blue, have you got any words of wisdom or anything you wanted to shout out? Or
I think we might just be coming out of disbelief, and maybe a bottom signal, because Gunther just launched a coin.
Did he? Oh man.
So there's the bottom, guys.
And the green candle tech, is that Steph was playing around with
Steph's been. That probably won't be out for a while though. He sounds like he's got something up his sleeve that he's testing, and he wants to time the market, and he has made some pretty accurate calls on BTC and ETH.
Yeah, he's a very smart guy. So he's
a smart trader, yeah, and he's a smart guy, obviously. And he's I think he's been building models to with certain trading behavior to try to test out kind of stuff. The problem with that is you can never really, because
the market does what the market,
and it's like you can never really test out modeling or in any way accurate. You can get an idea, but I wouldn't trust modeling. Yeah, but
I agree with this sentiment as well, Ash. Look, Steph has done a lot of good for the community with the Staker app and stuff as well, and maybe could have done more in terms of the support of Staker app or whatever. You could argue. I mean, I never did stakes on Staker app because I just don't like to use crypto on my phone, so that's not for me. But I think he seems to be fairly truthful and seems like a nice guy. So, but then people argue, oh, he's dumped, well, and this and that, he sold. But people have to sell to make money, right? We're all in it to make money, so I'm not going to hold that against someone who who's going to take a profit. That's what we all hope to do. But Gunther or Dumpther, he has been a little bit, I would argue, maybe a little disingenuous. We've seen a few of his coins, the whole Pulse Bitcoin, the ASIC miners, the Pulse Doge, was it X-Men or Wolverine? I stopped paying attention, man, after about 5 of them. Yeah, they all seem to rug in the end.
We were the first ones to have him on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To have Steph or Gunther?
Well, not the first people to have. Well, we had Steph, but we were not the first people. But we were the first people to have Gunther.
Really?
Yeah, because he released this the spreadsheet which listed all the OA addresses and showed exactly how much OA. Well, and when he first came onto our channel, he wouldn't show his face.
Right.
And we were like, fair enough, you know what I mean? But
yeah, look, I think he's burnt a lot of people. I mean, I never really got into those things, so I never really got burnt by them. But I do remember him having a few meltdowns at some point, but then coming back, and it's just this whole thing of like, if he gets really bullish on Hex just before one of his stakes comes out, and then because people track his stakes, and then he's just dumping it. It's like
which is fair enough, you know what I mean? Like this is the marketplace we're in, you know what I mean? And you've got to just be sus of all of those kinds of people. Just be sus of us. I'm telling you about ZenBlocks is because I'm in it, you know what I mean?
Because you've got a whole bunch of ZenBlocks you want to sell. Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know how that works, but yeah, that's true. Like we have bias and we have subconscious bias as well. So sometimes, that can't be helped. So, but that's up to everyone to take what people say with a grain of salt and try and make their own decisions. Yeah, we've always said that.
For sure.
And so you were saying, True Blue, that you just saw it on Twitter or whatever, that it's just released a new one.
Called Gun. Yeah, Gunther coins. It's tied to Hex apparently to help Hex out or something. So here we go.
Oh, like a reflex.
Yeah.
Token
He's releasing another coin to help.
Pass.
Anyway, it's hard pass, but anyway, I think that shows the sentiment anyway. That's good enough.
All good. All right. Well, thanks everyone in the chat. Thanks for coming on, and thanks to you guys, Blue Bum, True Blue, 43 Jexter. Appreciate everyone coming on. And I think my final thoughts would just be open up your time frame. Halving is literally today, and this is where the fun starts. Don't get shaken out. Just go and live your life or whatever, and stay locked in if you can. And if you're going to play the meme coin trades, rotate them into your core coins, that sort of stuff. But if not, then you can just chill out and wait for the party. I think that is coming. I hope everyone has a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good. See ya.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, chat. Thanks, Replay Gang.